Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is Thursday, December 18th, 2025. It is a blessing, truly, to be part of this community of friends from all over the world who have come together for almost 6 years every single weekday morning to learn Torah. Tracy Ann and Jonathan, Susie, it's good to see all of you. Boker Tov. This is going to be our 1450th broadcast. It's quite a lot of Torah. It's quite a lot of friendship. It's quite a lot of living. It's so good to see all of you and to be able to have shared it with you for so long. Carl and Barry, Penny, thank you for reminding us which broadcast it is. Jerry and Amy, Joyce, Ron and Arlene, Boker Tov, everyone. Michelle, Moshe Tzvi, my Moshe in Israel, is saying hello. So glad you're here, my love. Debbie and Linda, Rosa, good morning, friends. Oh, my son is at Machne Yehuda. See, that's good. He's going to get marzipan. He knows. The secrets of Jerusalem are at Machne Yehuda. Rav Lerner, David, my friends, good to see you. Who else is here? Camille and Gail, Judy and Karen, Cynthia, my friend, Debbie, good to see you. Natalie, hi. Patricia and Dave, good morning, everyone. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Barbara. Let's take a breath, friends. We're going to sing a bracha. We're going to learn some Torah. It's good to be with all of you. Okay. Amy and John, welcome. All right. Hi, Patricia. Okay. Here we go. Hi, Sue. Miss you. Nice to see you. Hi, Diane. Boker Tov. Hi, Stan. Ya la 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 la, didi ya la la la, didi ya la 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 la, ay ya la la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher kiddeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah, la'asok b'divrei Torah, hafokta ve'hafokta, la'asok b'divrei Torah. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Lai, la, lai, lai. Friends, it's so good to see you. Patricia, davening for your daughter's return to health, refuah shlema, and Amy, so glad you're here. Sorry you've been sick this week. It's good to see all of you, friends. It's been a big week. Let's learn a little bit of Torah today. You might not know this. It's one of the interesting things that you have to kind of dig deep or be around someone who's experienced it in this way, but Channukah candles are different. They're different, not only because they're colorful and not only because it's fun to arrange which one goes where and then to pick the wax off of the Chanukiot. There are all sorts of hacks. How to get the wax off without damaging the Chanukiah. It's one of my favorite things. My kids have always picked the wax off and then they have a glob of different colored wax detritus. It's its own Hanukkah tradition. But what makes Hanukkah candles different ritually is that they're not the same as Shabbat candles, not only because of the way they're made, but because of the way they are used. And so, what is it that makes them different? Shabbos candles, or Shabbos light actually, in Yiddish or German, Shabbos Licht, is actually meant to be useful. What do I mean? In a world without electricity, Shabbat was a time where We lit candles so that we could stay up later and be together Friday night. That's actually the translation of Oneg Shabbat, the joy of Shabbat. If you have an Oneg Shabbat at your synagogue, that might be yummy food. But Oneg, the delight of Shabbat, was understood in antiquity as more light Friday night. And also, if you've ever seen in a Jewish museum a 7-wick candelabrum that would hang from the ceiling, that's actually how they would light Shabbos. Not Shabbos candles the way that we do it, and it would make the house illuminated. Another way of saying this is Shabbos candles are for our benefit. They do something. When I was a child, we would turn off the light before lighting Channukah candles, especially because in the darkness of winter, it's so powerful to strike a match and light a candle. It's romantic, it's mystical, it's so sweet. But actually, technically, I have no problem with the way we did it in childhood, and I appreciate doing it that way even today. But technically, the Hanukkah candles are not meant to be derived, no benefit is meant to be derived from Hanukkah candles. You're not supposed to use them for anything. They're just to be noticed. Which is actually the reason we have a shamash there too, because if you derive light from a Chanukiah, it should be from the shamash, not from the day's candles. They are there for seeing. They tell a story. There's something about them that is meant to be present, but not useful. And that is an incredibly interesting way of thinking about something ritual. Not what does it do for me? Not the spirituality of all that. The question is, what is it? It gives the candle, the flame, a chance to be its own thing, not only what it can do for me. It's just there. We aren't meant to be utilitarian either. I don't exist so that I can be there for you, although my son, who just had marzipan, I'm there for you. I exist as a self. The candles obviously aren't animate, they aren't people, they aren't created things. But there is something really, really powerful about being witness to their light. They're not there to give a glow, they're there to be noticed. What an interesting thing to consider when it comes to other human beings too. It's not what can you do for me, it's I see you. You're a person, you're a whole other. Who are you? You don't owe me an answer, but I approach this encounter with curiosity. We say Hanerot halalu anu madlikim. Some of us sing this song. These candles we light. Al hanisim ve'al haniflaot. For the miracles, for the wonders. Shasita lavotenu. That God, you did for our ancestors, bayamim hahem bazman hazeh, in those days and this time. What if we looked at every person and said, oh, you have a story. You have your own story. You're not part of my story. I'm not part of your story. It's great when we share stories, to share an experience, to know that there is something collective, but within the group, within the community, within a tribe, within a faith, each of us is a whole person. And if we approach the world this way, if we approached each other this way, and strangers, not only would we have more reverence for what it is to be a person, and even more self-regard. My story is my own. It's the external affirmation or rejection matters not at all. But we also wouldn't hurt each other. Because you're not part of my story. I have no authority over you. And therefore, my best obligation is to notice you. And your best obligation is to notice me. Not to do something for me, just to notice. And if we were to notice each other and take that very seriously, we probably would be motivated to do more for each other. But the first step is not what can I do for you or what can you do for me. The first step is I see you. You're a whole person. Your light is not for me, but I see your light. In fact, your light is not for me, But what a benefit to me it is when I see your light. Of course, I'm thinking about what happened on Bondi Beach. I'm so pleased to share that my brother-in-law is home recuperating. There are many who lost their lives and many who have been impacted. And one of the responses, besides the defiance of light, the defiance of it, the placing of the Channukah in the window, and despite, as Arlene is saying, the collectivity of our story, that we are part of each other's story, and we should be, what a very beautiful and powerful thing it is to know that one of the ways we can be not just safe, but loving as people is to not see each other as utilitarian. You do not exist to do something for me, and I do not exist to do something for you. I exist, and you exist. And once I understand that I am my own created self, then I can be more present for you. In fact, one of the really interesting teachings that I've come across is an understanding from a Hasidic tradition of the verse, Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, maybe the most important verse in the entire Torah. Love your neighbor as yourself. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha is actually harder than we typically acknowledge, because actually, the kamocha part is really hard. Love your neighbor as yourself. Do I love myself the way that I am called to love my neighbor? Well, it is often much easier to care for someone else than it is to care for the self, to see myself as one of the people the divine has called me to tend to. If we did these things, I'm imagining we could debate what it is to be part of someone else's story and the boundary between one person and the next, and the place of community and collective thinking. All of this would be fascinating to explore, but we would all be safe having the conversation because we knew the integrity of every other human being and that no one should have power over anyone else. These candles are for noticing. Their light is enchanting, but that's not the point. Their light exists, and that's the point. They endure. That's the point. We see them. That's the point. I offer us, friends, this not so complicated blessing, something we can derive from the traditions of Channukah, which is that the candles are not for use. You and I are bigger than our usefulness. The candles are there to be seen because they exist. You and I exist. We should see ourselves, and in that way become more attuned to every other self. We are obligated to care for each other, but that is not the definition of each one of our selves. Hanerot halalu adu madlikin. These candles we light. We also are the candles we light. What a gift it is to be reminded of this for 8 nights in a row, of increasing light, of deepening beauty, and thank God, life itself. Let's send our hearts to the east, friends. Let's sing. Kol hod balevav pnima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvateinu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liot am chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim liot am chofshi be'artzeinu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Chag Sameach, friends. Am Yisrael Chai.